What it could be, what it should be. This is your boy Monty P on the ones and twos, ladies and gentlemen. On this wonderful Sunday afternoon on the 25th of September 2022. I'm just sitting back and kicking back and thinking about reminiscing a bit on old times' sake. I've sort of fell on kind of hard times the last couple of months or so. A lot of changes that has happened, but I think it was much more to do with not making the moves that I originally planned. Or what when you say to yourself, okay, I'm gonna make these moves. You don't make the moves, and then life sort of as a way of forcing you to have to make the moves. Eventually, otherwise you just stagnate over here, and so and you know where you are. So but it's a bit of somewhat chaotic. But anyway, it's moving in the right direction, so in a positive direction. So yeah, I'm not gonna sit there and lie. God is always there for me, has always been there for me, and wherever He leads, I'll follow. But in the spirit of the day, I've been kind of reminiscing about old times, and I'm sort of having one of my old buddies in my mind at the time, at this time, and um, passed away a few years ago. And I just want to share this song. I know it's kind of a love song, old love song from Stevie Wonder. That one night I had an opportunity to sing with him, and I don't know if I think I did upload it on Facebook, but I'm not too sure. Where we had that encounter where me and my best friend Ryan and he were sitting around Robbie Drayden, rest in peace. And I sang this. The song came up and I sang it, and we sang it, and he was like, "Yo, Martin." So yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna share that with you. Um, but what happens is YouTube. I don't know. Hopefully they don't mute the acapella version or my acapella version. Um, but yeah, yeah. Sorry about the silence. But anyway, here we go, man. Amen. For so long, for this night I prayed that a star would guide you my way to share with me this special day where ribbons in the sky for our love. If allowed, may I touch your hand, and if please, may I once again, so that you to understand there's a ribbon in the sky for our love. Ooh, ooh, ooh. This is not a coincidence, and far more than a lucky chance. But it is that was always meant. Is our ribbon in the sky for our love, love we can't lose. With God on our side, we'll find strength And a ribbon in the sky, a ribbon in the sky, ribbon in the sky for our love. For our love. Yeah, man. So anyway, yeah, it's just yeah, it's just Robin is one of the many friends that I've came to lose along the way. Not just the email I'm thinking about from since childhood. The Uwe Samuels and Miles and um, Byron Tualap, Peterson and Garth Fillmore, Jay Fillmore, and um, Byron Davids and Clint Lish and um, as I always say that, there's a difference between a clever man and a wise man. A clever man is done is read the book. He knows the theory. He knows the theory from whatever study shown. But a wise man is someone that has gone through or has been through whatever the book says and knows that the outcome is way different to what the experiments that was done in those theories or in those books or in that whatever the case may be, because we are in an ever changing time, in an ever evolving time. Ever things don't always pan out the way it did in 1990, in 1986 or 1990 or 2000 even. In 2022, things are way, 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 way different than to what it was. Life has been, as we know it, has been diminished to way less than what life is supposed to be worth. Um, and I already mentioned the ones that we lost because we lost them a couple of years ago, 3, 4, 5, some 10 years ago, some uh, 20 years ago. And of late, the Candace Samuels, the Ruth Walsh, all of rest in peace, all of you. Those people that that was recently lost due to illness, and so um, or natural causes or whatever. The ones I mentioned before was either through murders or car accidents or whatever the case may be. Um, and the last I mentioned were natural causes, so to speak, but at a young age. And I mean, yeah. And I think what people don't realize is that in today's the way we are, how we living today now, our forefathers or um, our elders that prior to us, our parents, our grandparents, and our great grandparents, why they lived to 80 years old is because uh, they just knew having to hold a job 9 to 5, um, no weekends, perfect life. And I know I'm gonna get crucified for this, but back when, mommy's at home, mother's at home with the kids, and pa gaat werk en pa kwaaist toe en alles is hunky dory by die huis. And I know in the new age people will say, I'm so happy and blah, 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 blah. But to make this a bit lighter, and I'm already 10 minutes in, but here comes I'm gonna turn this into uh something else, Rest in peace to you all my reminiscence. Yeah, I don't know if you could tell I got somewhat emotional within my rendition of the song. There's some notes I didn't get there, and it's because of the strings that were the hard strings that was a bit touched. But I want to. This is what I want to I wanna. A lot of times, you know, we don't perceive, we don't understand, we don't see how we are being mocked, and um, how we being our intellect has been diminished to the bare minimum. When I say this, and like I said, Joe, you sound like a university student saying that. So qualify, qualify. I'm gonna qualify. Um, so we all use these platforms like TikTok, and we use WhatsApp and whatever. But have you ever thought of why you can only have a 30-second or 2 minute TikTok video or whatever? It's because studies have shown that the human being, or the majority of human beings, do not have the ability to focus longer than 2 minutes or focus longer than 30 seconds. Or whatever. That's where you're gonna get the 30 seconds. You know, I normally post like a million fucking statuses on WhatsApp, maybe 5 minutes of fucking place. I don't give. But anyway, um, I try to make do this YouTube channel thingy. But my things are too long. Or even this is also gonna be lengthy. But let me take you back. That's the smartest women to walk the earth. Business savvy women. They just don't have the degrees. They just don't have the. They just don't have the. They don't give. They're not given the credit that it's due. But I'm gonna point something out to you, and I want you to focus and listen to me real quick. Our grandmas and our great grandmas, those that in children, they look at TV. There wasn't on, so it was, there wasn't much to do. But if you think for one moment that grandma en my grootste hulle het swaar gekry, of hulle swaar gewees vir hulle om 13, 14 kinders groot te maak. Let me make you understand how things went down. Your grandpa went to work, 9 to 5, 9 to 5. Leaves home, half past 6, gets home, half past 6 that evening. Home must be clean, kids must be washed, kids go to bed, he gets the big piece of chicken. Sorry, let me chew finish. I must stop doing that, eat it, talking while I'm eating. But anyway, so half past 6 in the morning, he leaves home, half past 6 at night, he returns home, his food is ready, his chairs there, the house is clean. Yanis Kupela, kids need to go to bed, be ready for bed, because they need to go to bed, and they need to get, because he needs to get his pudding, you know what I'm saying? Now, first child is born, usually a boy. If the most luckiest grandmas is a girl, luckiest of them all is a girl. But hear me out, and this doesn't sound familiar. So let's start with the boy. Puta, you always hear Puta is born. Puta only went to school till grade 7, 5, 4, 5, or 6 or 7 there. Learn to write, learn to read, somewhat. Puta went to go work. But now what it was is, as much as you, and here's what it is that they don't understand. The norm was, it wasn't a fact that, yeah, women is at home having the babies, having to clean the house and shit like that. That was the highest paying job at the time. You hear me out? You might be thinking, what cock are you talking? Hey, load shedding's not, yes, cock has the doors to spin anyway. But now I can't even make me something to eat. But anyway, I'm gonna continue. I'm luckily I can continue. There's some battery power. I hope the sound stays there. Fuck. But anyway, so things go like this was the highest paying job because here's what you need to understand. In the marriage when they started, when they went out, when dating never took place. You didn't date for 10 years or whatever. You see, so the guy that you like, I mean, that you said, oh, they want to know when you're getting married. So they must probably just like my car for a month and they got married. Anyway, so now, first of all, grandpa needs to bring his pay home. Because, contrary to popular belief, You that was the man you made to go work, you get paid. You had to give your pay to your wife. Your wife managed the money. She needs to make sure there's food in the house so that you can eat every day. She had to make sure that the rent is paid or the house is paid. She had to make sure that daddy can get to work every day, clothes is washed, all that stuff. She managed the biggest business. You know, your grandmas, our great grandmas, they managed the biggest business. So now they have the first child, Puta goes to grade 4, 5, 6, 7. Puta has to go and work when he was like 14, 15. But now, remember, Puta goes to work. Puta now also gets paid. So now, when Puta gets paid, who's sitting now with the most money in the house? Oma. And Opa. And Oma Ugaruti. Because why? Puta's pay also comes to Oma, to your grandma, to the wife. So now, Ma's getting two pay packets, but she still has to manage the same thing. Because now there's siblings involved. Now after why Puta to go to school because then another baby came, the second eldest brother. Maybe if this is the sister, great stuff. If not yet, okay. Second boy is born, and now the expenses is more, so that's why Puta had to go work, so that we can solve for the second baby, to add to the income. Puta does the same thing. Mama used to so, oma so dat Puta by die weer kom. Puta se pay gaan ook na mami toe. So mami kry twee paypakkies. Grandpa and Puta's. Second child's a boy. He only finishes school to grade 10 or so. He goes to work as well because now the third child's born. Say this time a sister. Whenever the girl is born, if the girl is born very first, second, third, jackpot. Because now she's getting the pay packet for your grandpa. Puta's a pay packet. Tweede Puta's a pay packet. Now the girl is born. Now, obviously, Puta them and pa them at home. So they're grooming the second girl to be the assistant, the PA, so to speak, or the manager or the supervisor. So now the groom her into helping with the housework. So now when the girl is born, cuts all the chores in half. The cooking, the cleaning, we splitting the bitch, you born, we splitting the chores. All the kids after that. Now you must remember those people had 17, 15 kids back in the day, right? So you have the third kid, jackpot girl, and you will always notice that the very first girl born never gets married, never has a boyfriend, nothing of the sort. Or she does get married, but she will then be the mother in when Oma eventually passes away. When grandma passes away, then all of the kids will turn, even Buddha and Tweede Buddha, those older than her, but the first girl will always be the mother in to all of that old flock of the 16, 17 to keep shit together because your grandma hands the blueprint to this whole shit to her. So if you have that auntie, she's the only one that has the blueprint. Till today, I have an auntie that is the great auntie that is the blueprint that keeps the fabric that keeps everything together after the mother. But I'm saying, so all the kids after that. So now you must remember that auntie also goes out to work once she gets of age, but she has the blueprint to how to keep the family together. In case mother's in there, but mother's chores is cutting off. All the children of that, if it's girls, they are super boys, it's a mixed breed or whatever. One by one they go to work, and each and every one of them pay because it's lead by example by Buddha. Now Buddha will stop giving his pay to the Tani. Will not stop giving the pay to the Tani, but in the end will give half his pay or whatever to the Tani once he gets married. Also second Buddha. So mom now phases out. Your grandma phased out Buddha and phased out the pay for Tweede Buddha and whoever else. If the great sister gets married, wonderful. But they tend to normally not get married because they need to be supportive to your grandma or great grandma till the end of the days. But as Buddha them gets married out, the other siblings will eventually finish school. The rest will all finish school, and then the pay of your grandpa and Buddha, Tweede Buddha, and Osis, and will pay for the studies of the rest after them. So you always can meet that. Yeah, the second, the third, fourth brother and sister, them they all went to university. So if they had 15 kids, the 13 of them went to university, or 14 of them, because the rest of them paid the way forward for the siblings. And you will, and here's why, if you can go back with me, how this would be, how you can either hear what I'm saying and feel what I'm saying, and understand what I'm saying, or if you sit back and look at everything how it is, those siblings will till today be tight knit. They will be their values will be, we will not abandon one another ever. We will stick together whenever one of us are in need. We're there for one another, because that's what the values instilled by grandma and grandpa and Oma Grootsie and Opa Grootsie and so on. Now, and in that family, there's always one or two out of the 15 that's fuck ups. That maybe nobody drinks in the family. They're the two that drink and smoke. But even those two fuck ups are covered, because it's a family plan. They ran own family values. This is my son, and I'm until the day I die, I'll take care of him. And the brothers and sisters also know till the day they die, they must take care of this fuck up, regardless of how much they fuck up, no matter what age they are. Now, but remember that grandma didn't just raise that all 15, 17 kids on their own, because as the rest were born, it was her duty to teach each and every one of them the love for family and for one another, and to help one another, and to divide the labor. The division of labor they talk about in economics, that divide the labor amongst one another. And she was the accountant. She was the accountant. She was the bookkeeper. She had to make sure the house was run in disciplinary. And the only time your grandpa and your great grandpa was just the chairperson in the meeting, or the disciplinary, in terms of, wacht net jou pa by die skool. He just said, pa, no fucking so what is your story? What is it? What happened? Nee, Martin was against out. Um, Martin, what happened? No, daddy. No, 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 no. Okay, wacht met jou pa by die skool. Right, so even though she already fucked you up, uh, right, Martin was out of line today. Bah, that's all she had to say. No explanations or fuck all. Bah, klaar. Cling, bam, out this motherfucker. That was it. So grandpa didn't really, he wasn't there physically taking care and raising the family. When he went to work, he done, and until the day that he couldn't, and he had to retire, and then there was his severance package, basically, that Oma had to put away. So she had the woman in the house had to be the accountant, had to be the say, had to be the policy holder, basically, like we have these companies today, like Sanlam and Metropolitan, where you take a savings policy out. She had to save their save bookie there by the postkantoor or whatever. But that she made provide a provision for the old age, um, and the children they will all chip in. Mommy and daddy will never go hungry, or whatever the case may be. So, um, contrary to popular belief, where women slaved away, no, up to today, women are still the most intelligent beings. They are still the superior beings. They are still the decision makers. And let me tell you this quickly, if you didn't know, if you read the Bible, because I'm from Christian faith, I don't know I don't know much of other religions what it says, but I mean from the beginning of time, God put Adam. Adam was lonely. Adam didn't know what the fuck to do, so from his rib, he sculpted Eve. And even though it was a cut decision, to say, but Eve made a decision to say, hey, we eat these apples, and okay, we fucked up now both. And there's also another thing where, a woman's going to lead you into that division, but she at least done something. You can't just sit here and do shit here in this big garden. You're going to have to do something. Okay, I spoke to the snake. The snake says, apple. Let's eat the apple. Okay, we ate the apple. All right, cool. Now we fucked up. Now we're going to suffer. Together we'll suffer for the rest of our days. You know what I'm saying? But, yeah, you know, there's not there is not a man on this earth That's great. That is not being that his greatness was not because of an even greater woman behind him. Whether it's been said in the history books or not, I just want to put that out there today. It's not Women's Month. It's nothing. Has nothing to do with nothing. I just want you to understand that there is nothing more powerful on this earth than a woman before God. Boy, I'm saying that to you today. There is no way. Look here. Let me put it to you so. Look at a battle or a woman that gets abused by a man every day. That man goes out, he goes, drinks him drunk, or even if he's not drunk, he beats that woman every day with everything he has, but he doesn't kill her. 7 days a week, he comes home drunk, whatever. He fucks that woman up. She has a couple of bruises, but she's gonna heal next week, mentally, physically, everything. Boy, I'm telling you now, fuck a man up ho for 2 days straight. He's gonna die somewhere along the line. There's not a man known that I can say that has been reported in the news to say I've been abused physically for the last 10 years. Every day this man came home and kicked the shit out of me. Kicked me in the head, beat me with bottles, or beat me with an axe over the head, or I don't even know if there is, let me know. But I've never heard of it. I've never seen a report where people say no, there was a guy that came into hospital, his wife or his hit him with an axe over the head, unconscious there, clinging on, barely clinging on to life and making it through. So physically, mentally, everything, they are stronger than us. The problem is, and yeah, I might be crucified for this as well, but the problem is just this that women get influenced too easily by their surroundings into doing the wrong things and they don't think it through properly. And that's also from beginning of time. Let's just be honest. I'm not ladies. Please don't hate me for what I'm saying. But God said don't eat the fruit, and the snake came and convinced Eve differently. I'm going to prove it to you. Think about your life today. Just sit back and think to yourself, how many times did you do something stupid because somebody else whispered something in your ear? It wasn't through maybe they speculated or they just were trying to be malicious and trying to fuck you over, but you didn't see it at the time. The same way the snake fucked Eve over and Adam over. But how many times today still is there a snake saying to you, Kegi, your girl, your man is there over there with us 30 and 40 and as we saw him there and whatever. Just because it was the same silver Corolla there or whatever. I was like, we would tell her we saw the there. Yeah, we saw him there. We go home. Gaat stiek ze man met die vark. Gaat naar zijn werk toe. Gaat maak molesta. Hij verloor zijn werk. Hij verloor je. Is alles everything falls apart and then eventually you find out they were talking cack to you. You know what I'm saying? So that's the only thing that but the thing is in their defense, in women's defense, they like to they protect what is their own and they when they love you and they down for you, then they down to the death. That I know for a fact, you know. Also, what women need to understand, to do definitely is they need to stop being mad for shit for centuries and not let go of shit. I know it hurt, but you need to speak about your hurt at the time. Open up about it. I know that women are not always sensitive to your feelings, but we just stupid. We're just stupid. But yeah, as I was saying, going back to the audiogram, our women were the accountants, they were the psychologists, they were all that shit. You know, behind closed doors, women need to understand that yes, the argument is there where yeah, when is the man gonna be there for me? You see, and that is why in prior in our grandparents' time, in our great grandparents' time, the women stayed at home, looked after the kids, made sure the home was alright, made sure that the children are raised correctly with the morals and values that the family stands for, and police that on a daily. Look at today's parents. Your kids are born from three, and here's where it goes down to. And yeah, I know this is lengthy, but trust me, it's gonna be insightful in terms of how many times have you came to or today's times. Your kids are born, you get 3 months maternity leave. After the 3 months, you go to creche. You put your kids in a creche there. Some stranger looks after your kids. When they're 1 year old, they go to another teacher. The 1 year old class, another stranger puts instills something into your kids. Then they 3 years old, and they go to creche, and then they go to grade R. And every year for the first 12 years at least of their life, they every year a different stranger teaches them something else. Whatever it is they want to teach them, however they want to teach them. And those people spend 8 hours of the day. And when it comes to school, to high school even, you have 7 periods where 7 different strangers every year is teaching you something new, some way or some shape or form, you know. So, and the parents, they work Monday to Friday, Sunday, different shifts. The parents don't even have time for one another. How would you as a parent have time to reflect on what who your kid is becoming or who your kid is? The only thing that you have can do is when your kid comes home and school calls and says, "Yo, your kid is fucking up," and then it's like, "Nah, not my kid. Yes, your kid." Because you don't know your kid. Now you come there to the defense. Oh, don't come in, don't say my child is not. That's not my child. You don't know your child. Because let me put it to you frankly. After 3 months of age, you spend one good hour a day, if that, with your children. Because technically, when you get to the daycare at 5 o'clock to pick your kids up, they're gonna be asleep. You're gonna watch them. You're gonna put them to bed the first 5 years of their life because you need to get to bed. One of the two parents, if it's not because they're single parents, it's because they work past one another shifts. And then, but now, by the time that you now need to spend time because they don't go sleep that early anymore, then guess what they do? You give them a tablet or a cell phone to keep themselves busy and watch YouTube and all that shit. So they get taught by the rest of the internet about what the fuck life is. And so you don't get to know your kids, you don't know the behavior. You're that you get to see in an hour, but you don't really even pay attention to. How the fuck are you going to be able to say, uh, not my kid, until your kid gets shot one day, and then because he's terrorizing, he was a terrorist and he killed 7 people already that you don't know of, but people said, but you don't want to give a fuck about, because that kid knows exactly how to act in your presence for you not to become suspicious. So it's like, mommy, can't be the out the door, say your mass, but that is just the reality of the situation. So your great grandma, your grandmother, they were to be your hands-on parents. They signed up for when they get married. We can have children one day, and it's my responsibility to raise these fuckers right. If there's two fuckers out of the 17, you know what? I got 90% fuck, I pass. But if you have one child that needs a fuck up, you're 100% fucked. You know what I'm saying? That's just the reality of the situation. Now, bear in mind, my generation, so when we were born, we didn't go straight to college because we went to our grandma. You had to go. You went to grandma because our parents knew that. Okay, like my mother and father is gonna look. My mother's gonna look after my kid till they're about 4 or 5 years old because they will not instill the values that we have, even though they're not as tough they weren't as tough on us as they were on our parents. Like if us hiding, they always say, no, don't hit him, he's being, and grandma would protect you because grandma would had started that negotiation tactic of how to instill the values and not the physical. And then our parents went into physical, and it's just about pack, we got pack. And then the generations fucked up here by X, Y, Z them, where they now said, okay, go to daycare, go there to daycare, the strangers fuck you up. And then you turn up fucked up. So you have to be actually proud in a sense if your kids become a success in this day and age. If you know that you took them to a daycare center from 3 months old and they became something positive in life because they have so many obstacles that our that life. That time there was the TV finished at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock at night, and the TV is off and you must go sleep. Now there's 24 hours, 750,000 channels, YouTube, and all this internet cuck, whatever. There's so much fucking access to a lot of stuff, information that you weren't privy to back in the day. And fuck people up. But anyway, I can speak on the topic at length. It's just be 35 minutes in. And I don't even know if people's gonna get to this point back. Trust me when I say we need to make women understand that someone came out and contaminated. And there's something they call the Mandela effect, and which is it's after the late Nelson Mandela because of how people remember the story that they wanted to put that and as a colossal and just Google the Mandela effect, how the story is being told, but what the real story was, everybody's now perceiving it as whatever the fake story is. But somewhere along the line, this Oprah Winfrey, they came along and said, no, 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 no. Men don't. We want to be successful women. We need to work for ourselves. What a fish. Unfortunately, I think the message got twisted where this meant that women do exceed men 10 to 1 on earth. So they meant for the women that don't end up getting married to or whatever. You need to be independent and become focused on being that business savvy or whatever woman. Not across the board. You know what I'm saying? But like I say, your great grandma, they were CEO, they were boss. Think about the 15 kids they had. They may be two fuck ups, but the morals and values that they instilled in the kids to be united in a united front, the values that's instilled in your uncles and aunties and whatever, sending them to university, having them getting and paying them through university. It wasn't like I don't know. Maybe at this point I don't know, but I'm surmising that she paid the way for them to go to university. So by to tell them what all the contributions that were made, whoever went to go work after they finished studying, but she put them through. Here today we can't we're not able to put one child through university. She put out of that 15, 10, at least 10 of that motherfuckers went to university and finished. Some repeated it and tried again, and but she made the effort and time. She wasted that resources because there was enough resources. You see, they didn't focus on being rich because they just needed the family to be right, the morals and values to be right, and to be in the right place. Then the rest would have fallen into place. At any given, I would say that maybe if, like back in the day, I would say that they would have been in the currency and what the value of the market was at that time. They were millionaires. They had millions of dollars. The house was bought. They paid for the house. Car was bought. They paid for the car. 10 kids are put through. 10 kids are put through university. You know how much money you need to have to put 10 kids through university. One kid's university is how much? 10 kids putting in 500. Like I'm. What the fuck is LLB costing now? Say 75. I don't know, but I'm just making it up. 75K per year for 5 years to get them or whatever the fuck. You do the math, you know what I'm saying? 300,000. So 350,000 on the like 350 stacks me, bro. One child, she put 350,000 through. That motherfucker, that's 3.5 mil on studies, me, bro. That your grandma had to that's made provision for. Maybe not in that time's money, that time it was a bit cheaper. But if we have to take that currency and we put it into today's market value, today's value, remember that woman that had 3.5 mil on studies alone that she had to give out. Besides running the household. And guess who was the doinky? Opa. He wakes up at 6:30 line. He goes in, puts his bumpers there, sweep the road by the council. He's the head glass man there by the bottle making company. He's now pouring the coke into the bottles by Coke after 35 years. He woke up 6:30. He's at home 6:30 tonight. Saturday is a family day, go shopping, whatever. Sunday is church. Sunday afternoon we nap. Start over. Grandma, my bro, when the cat calls, paas uit, hy trek aan skool toe. As ja, die melkie koei. As ja, betaal die rent op die eerste wanneer die rent betaal word. Ry skool vir jou doen. Hy waar hy slippie in 'n boef baf. Al hy af gaat shopping, ry wat het ons die lentil keer die net kie fight pot ons is 'n klomp mense, moes kie fight pot tyd moet gemaak word. Skil die ywe, poes 'n klomp ywe, sak ywe elke dag. Soup kitchen numbers. This is to the neighborhood, takes village to raise. She in the neighborhood. With that pink overalls, that blue overalls, they still have time to go. When the other lady is born, still time to make garden and all that kind of stuff to be zen. If she took a CV, if people could see the value of, maybe she could run company, man. She didn't run a company. 17 like this. 10 of them through university. So 3.5 mil study money in a lifetime. Maybe at 10 million. I don't know. Colossally, but okay, before 20, I'm gonna leave it there. We can have this conversation. Maybe I can go deep in that. But think about it, women. You're strong. You are the best thing on this earth. The strongest thing on this earth. There's nothing stronger than a fucking woman on this earth. And you just need to fucking realize your worth. And fucking say, you know what? Fuck it. Peace.